It's episode 20 of the Fresh Towels podcast, coming to you live on tape here in New York City. Wow, it's a milestone show. A lot of podcasts don't make it to 20, and based on our numbers, we shouldn't have either. But we're pressing forward. We're here and we're doing it. I am back. If you're thinking I feel great, it's true. I do feel great. Last week, I had a little congestion from a plane issue, from a sleeping on my head issue, but today, feel excellent. Feel great here in the studio. Haven't even had a coffee yet. Haven't even had one. Did you had one, Mike?
I'm on mine right now. I started buying cans of coffee for the studio.
Cans o' coffee?
Cans of black coffee, Kirkland special. Dark roast from the Costco.
Shipped in, or you go?
I just bring them in. I love a Costco run once a week.
You go to Costco physically?
Oh yeah, I love Costco.
Where? Where's there a Costco?
Queens. There's like 3 in the city. There's one on the Upper East Side.
What?
Yeah, buddy.
There's not a Costco on the Upper East Side.
Okay.
Give me a cross streets.
Like 100, no, like 90, 80 something and something.
80 what?
I don't know, but
I would be shocked if there was a Costco in the city. I've been thinking about Costco just here and there for years. Thinking about it. Sometimes I wake up in the morning thinking about samples.
Correct me if Upper East Side is the wrong neighborhood. 117th and FDR, basically.
Okay.
That's
Spanish Harlem.
Spanish Harlem, but it's there. It's right off the train. Yeah.
Okay.
And then they have one in
big,
Queens.
It's
a
what
Costco.
you think of what you think of Costco.
It's Costco, baby.
In Manhattan.
Yeah.
Shocked.
The one in Queens is right across the river. There's one directly across the river in Queens.
In Astoria?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right next to Socrates Park.
And I'm talking Costco, Middle America Costco. You're strolling. It's big.
So the one deeper in Queens is
Smaller?
bigger. No, huge. Bigger than most Costco's I've ever seen. The one in Astoria is big, but it lacks furniture. So, sometimes you see giant furniture.
I can live without that. I'm not usually shopping for armoires.
Although they do got some good couches.
They got a lot of great stuff there. That middle section at Costco, I can get lost in there. Oh. Sometimes I'll just shop the middle.
Shop the middle.
Shop the middle.
That could be your Costco TikTok influencer account. Shop the middle with Jiggy.
Shop the middle. You go to Costco, and the middle is just stock full. They got it's 4,000 children's books, a 10-pound thing of peanuts, a sofa, a bicycle.
The middle
one. You need a jean jacket? There's 1,000 of them.
So the Costco in Astoria, the middle lacks a little bit of like what the suburban ones would.
Right.
But it's got all the stuff you need.
It's got all the stuff. And then as you go...
tons you don't need.
As you go north in the middle, there is no rhyme or reason to the Costco middle.
Not really,
where it starts and where it... But it usually ends with pie.
There's plenty of food.
It ends usually with the baked goods.
Yes, all that stuff.
Same size, huge steak platter.
Same size bakery as the ones. Same size steak section. The seafood's incredible. New Year's Eve, I bought a bushel of live mussels.
A bushel that's even a measurement you don't see in New York as a possibility.
It's too much mussels. A bushel
is 10 pounds.
I was forcing mussels down because I was like, I can't waste these mussels. Guess how much I paid for a bushel of mussels?
A bushel is how many pounds?
You know what? I got a computer in front of me.
I bet a bushel, let me just guess, 25 pounds is a bushel. That's a great unit of measurement. I wish I could have all my life in bushels. I need a bushel of toilet paper. I need a bushel of fruit by the foots.
Okay, it was not a bushel.
How much is a bushel?
A bushel is 60 pounds.
That's a lot.
It was not a bushel. It was probably about 6-7 pounds.
Half bush.
Half bush.
Quarter bush.
Full. It was a quarter 1975. It was a ton of mussels. Enough for me, my girlfriend, and then we were just like, what are we gonna do with all these mussels?
You have to clean them too, right? You can't just eat them. You can't just throw them in a pot. You got to clean them off.
Imagine 3 times the size of a normal restaurant order of mussels. So just like tons of mussels. Guess how much I paid for them?
$100.
You'd be wrong.
$80.
It's so low that you're gonna go. That you'll fall out of your seat.
$49.
$6.
What?
Yeah.
That's not real mussels.
Crazy. Now, it might have been
You got genetically engineered Kirkland signature mussels.
These mussels hadn't worked out in a while. No, they were big, juicy, delicious mussels. Didn't get sick.
That's got to be one day. That's got to be one day before they hit the trash can.
They were all live. They were all moving and shaking. I took a couple out that were broken.
I was shocked, by the way. I learned this recently on this weekend.
Yeah.
Last weekend. That clams move around.
Oh, yeah.
Shocked.
What'd you think they did?
oysters move around?
Yeah, they're mussels.
No idea. We went and had oysters on the half shell, and I love it. I love
I
it.
cannot stand an oyster.
Little neck clams, by the way, delicious.
Didn't say nothing
Summertime.
about clams. I said oysters.
Don't
Put me in that mussel oyster scenario. Not
all oysters are created equal. I tend to like the smaller, like a little neck clam on the half shell. To me, is one of the best summertime treats you can have. Then oysters are not all created equal. You can have some big honking oysters, which I don't like either. But a small East Coast Prince Edward Island, they don't do mussels. What do they do up there? They do mussels.
I think that's a piercing through your Johnson.
It's that too. Seafood in that. I love a oyster, but I learned as I'm consuming them, because I said something that in retrospect I guess is dumb, that I thought that they were just sedentary beings. Is that the right word? That they just hang out. They are birthed and they just sit on a dock or whatever they live. I had no idea that oysters move.
They're bivalves.
They open up their shells and they throw out their body and they just crawl along the earth.
Yeah, they're like tongues.
It looks like a tongue.
The shell is a mouth and the muscles.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
And they crawl along the earth. Then I had another question about oyster shells. Oyster shells, it's essentially rock.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I had a question which I eventually learned. Are they birthed like this? Where does the shell come from? Do they make their own shell? Is it made out of sand? What is it made out of? Like when an oyster has a baby, it doesn't pop out in a shell, does it?
I can't imagine so. I mean, just little mini shells.
Yeah, but think about it. Where are these shells coming from?
So it looks like they're just like little eggs. Fertilized eggs called juvenile larvae.
So what came first, the oyster or the shell? Where are these shells coming from? It's rocks.
They begin as eggs, as sperm and eggs released to be fertilized from adults, males versus females, as many as 8 million eggs at one time.
8 million. That's how they're $6 in a bushel.
That's an oyster in heat right there.
8 billion.
8 million.
Could you imagine? You're like, oh, I don't know if I want to have twins. How many are we having? 8 billion.
And they float around until they find somewhere to attach themselves to, and then I guess they grow.
They grow a shell?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
The shell grows around them, I guess.
Could you imagine if we could just grow a fucking house?
Yeah. I mean,
when you're like 13, you're like, yeah, I want to like walk around I want to grow a house.
I mean, I guess we grow a skull.
Yeah, but I don't think we live in that.
You ever had human skull on a half shell? On a half skull? Brain on a half skull? Little hot sauce? Little lemon juice? Suck a brain out?
Horseradish? I like it. I like clams in the half shell. You're sitting on a lobster crate, slurping down a little neck clam. I think it's wonderful.
But cooked, like steamed, right?
I like, those are called steamers, and I like a steamer, or I like it on the half shell, raw.
Oh, you can do clams raw?
Oh, yeah, little neck clams are the best. It's better than an oyster.
Really?
A lot more approachable.
It's the texture.
It's salty.
When I was in middle school, did you ever dissect anything in your
No, I think
education?
we were in the post-dissection education.
Yeah. So
I don't think they do that anymore.
We did an oyster instead of like a
What'd you go to, the seafood restaurant?
No, they just shipped in oysters in bags, and it smelled despicable. It was the worst.
Well, they weren't getting restaurant quality oysters. They probably got all the ones at Costco that got expired.
And there was like green, like furry pus on the inside of them, and it was like one of the most vile things. And I think still to this day, I won't eat oysters because of that.
Nah,
I don't actively think about it, but it just I've eaten. I'll do one a year. To see if my mind has been changed. And it never
oyster,
is.
a little neck clam, I would take you to get little neck clams. It might change your mind. But to me, it's just like tasting the ocean.
I'm down.
It's the essence of the ocean.
Yeah, I don't know.
I love it. There's nothing that says
shrimp.
summertime like clam, little neck clam on the half shell. It's got to be in the 70s degrees outside. Slight breeze, oceanside, lemon juice, little hot sauce.
Maybe a little sunburn from the day and it's just cooling off.
Great.
You just took a shower and now you're out by the water.
Your shirt's sticking to the back of your shoulders because you got the salt on there from the beach. There is nothing better than that. But once you get into the 80s and 90s degrees and you're trying to sit outside, slurp an oyster, it becomes pretty bad. pretty quick.
I'm not.
You need a 74-degree afternoon day. Sun's about to set. You got a light sweatshirt on. You put on. You crack open one of those little clams. Delicious. The best. Costco for clams. I don't know if I could do that. That might be taking it a little too far.
Incredible seafood, man.
You know what I would get at Costco?
Tell me.
Crab leg.
They got a lot.
An Alaskan crab leg. I feel like I would have put them in a top 5 place to get crab leg.
Yeah, they got it all. They got They have sushi now. You can get fresh rolled sushi at
a Costco.
You can also eat salmon from Costco raw. I've done it. I've made little spicy salmon chopped.
They got a great
on top
beef
of rice.
there too. They got great beef.
And because Astoria is very diverse, they got a lot of great like bimbimbap's, pork bellies, things that you necessarily wouldn't find. They're more specially cut for like a Korean or a family.
Sure.
Unbelievable.
I love a Costco. I'm delighted to hear that there's one in Manhattan, although that is a little bit of a hike. It's 100 blocks for me.
It's a lot, but
But still, to know that
how often are you going to go? You go, just go sniff it out.
I know, but the other thing, here's the backside of the Costco is where you put this stuff. I don't have storage for that. We have storage for a shop a week here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the cabinetry for anything of 10-pound varieties. Like, I would have to really fucking love this peanut butter to get a huge vat of it.
Well, they have. I mean, I think it's more built for Manhattan in a sense because like I buy.
There's not like big.
They have like the big ones, but I get almond butter and like it's like the biggest one you can get at a grocery store size.
Okay.
Or like Frank's Red Hot. I always stock up on Frank's Red Hot from there because you get 2 big ass bottles, but they fit right into my cabinet.
Okay.
Nothing's like they have the insane
You have Frank's
stuff.
Red Hot on demand all the time?
I always have 3 industrial size Frank's ready to go.
Industrial?
I mean, like the Costco, so like the bigger ones.
So you're putting it on everything?
I put that shit on everything. That's their slogan.
Oh, it is a slogan.
Yeah, it is.
I started buying these.
Introduced my girlfriend to hot sauce last year. Since we started dating, she never had hot sauce.
I actually have the spice tolerance in my relationship.
Really?
And I'm married to an Indian.
Is she
woman.
Northern or Southern Indian?
Northern.
So Southern Indians apparently. I learned this from my last roommate. They're the spicy ones in the South. The
they
North
kick
is
it
not.
up. They grow the peppers down there. She can eat the spice, but I like it hotter than she does.
Yeah.
I like it spicy.
I'm a big spice fan. Not a competition level spice.
I eat spicy food to a point where she looks at me and goes, "Why are you doing this to yourself?" And I'll be like sweating profusely. My nose is running.
You're wiping boogers from your mouth.
I'll literally say things like, "Oh my God." And she goes, "Why are you doing this to yourself?" I'm like, "I love it though. I love it though.
Makes me feel special.
Makes me feel so good."
Do you ever watch Hot Ones, obviously?
Never seen it.
It's actually really good. It's such a simple, easy concept. Really fun show.
I've heard only good things.
Yeah, I mean he's a little sing-songy with his questioning. Like it's like a pattern to his voice.
Yeah.
But you get beyond that, that's a good time.
Huh.
Yeah, you see people really digging deep into their souls to try to get through an interview.
I like all sorts of hot sauces. I mean, one thing when we went down to the
hot sauce in that fridge right there.
There's hot sauce in here?
Just in case. What do you got? It's not Frank's. This is from one of our podcasters, Lucy Pohl of the Immigrant Jam podcast.
Yeah.
She went
it's Alaskan bullwhip.
She went to Alaska and she brought me back a little hot sauce because she knows I like hot sauce.
Bullwhip.
It's pretty good.
Oh, this is peri peri sauce.
Yes,
I love peri peri.
It's very very bright, I would say. Very bright, a little bitter.
Peri peri's got a lot of acidity, a lot of lemon juice and stuff. I love a peri peri sauce. The most famous one that's like marketed is Nando's peri peri sauce. Nando's is a British chicken place that's based off of an African chicken. So African chicken has the peri peri.
The Brits love stealing things from Africa.
They just took it right. They just took it. They said, "This is our chicken now."
They claim curry as their own. They just love taking everything from every country.
I'll tell you though, Nando's peri peri hot sauce, lights out. It has a viscosity to it, so it's like almost like it feels more like a dip almost than a sauce.
Like a chutney almost.
It's thick, man.
Yeah.
But it's good.
I smoked. So I got my smoker up and running at my campsite. Smoked chicken thighs with some peri peri on it.
Great.
And let me tell you something. I'll put it up against Gordon Ramsay. Ain't got shit on that. On smoked peri chicken.
Smoked chicken wings, by the way.
Great. I did drumsticks and thighs. Thighs, I think, might be the best
of the chicken
for smoking because
it's very forgiving.
Goes quicker because you don't have a bone to contend with. A lot of fat.
Oh, you did boneless chicken thighs.
Well, you could do bone in, but they just had boneless where I was.
They're always so cheap too.
But it's a dark meat, so it's got a lot more fat, a lot more connective tissue. So it's more forgiving, and it also stays juicier.
Tissue?
Yeah. So it's a lot more forgiving on if you overcook it slightly.
You can't really overcook a chicken thigh. That's why Chipotle does it.
Yeah.
And I mean, you got these. They're throwing shit on the grill. Have you ever looked at a grill at Chipotle?
Yeah, it's wild.
You're like, these people are not like looking at doneness. They're just fucking crushing these chicken thighs because it's literally impossible to overcook a chicken thigh. And even if you do, you chop it up into cubes and you're ready to rock, man. And it's still really good.
Can I tell you something? Not to divert a little bit, but to talk about doneness of chicken. Something I discovered recently in my quest to continue to become a better cook. Let me ask you this. What temperature do you need to cook chicken at for it to be safe to eat? Do you know?
A temperature?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm going to say 160.
165.
Okay.
That's like the standard. 165 or you're dead, right?
I don't think you're dead.
You get salmonella. Like that's what kills everything.
Mm-hmm.
Found out that's not true.
You can eat it medium rare.
You can cook it much lower, but it has to be held at a longer time at that temperature. So once it hits 165, it's done. But if you can keep it at a certain temperature for a certain period of time,
a sous vide method.
So 150 for a minute. If you get it to 150 and keep it there for a minute, it's doable or something like that. You have to look it up. Don't quote me. I have a chart at my house. So I sous vide chicken.
Okay.
At 150, hold it for a minute, pull it out. It's like a cloud of chicken.
Very soft and tender.
And just do a quick sizzle.
Can I tell you something about chicken I learned about?
Can't wait.
During the pandemic.
Go ahead.
That really threw me for a loop. And I think about it every time I buy chicken from a store or from a restaurant. I just can't stop thinking about it. So doneness is obviously what comes to mind first on chicken.
Correct.
People are thinking, is this chicken done? Am I going to get sick?
Right.
Where I don't think about that. What I think about most times is woody chicken. Woody chicken is a phenomenon when the chicken itself grows too fast, they feed it too much stuff, and the chicken breast has a crunch to it. It's a difficult thing to describe, but you'll know when you've had it. You take a bite of this chicken, it's done. It looks like normal chicken, doesn't smell bad. It's not like bad chicken. They call it woody chicken. And like you bite into it, and it has like this like crunch, like this like, it's so foul. It doesn't really affect the taste, but when you, I don't know how else to describe it. It's like crunchy chicken. They call it woody chicken. And so when you go to the grocery store and you see these like, pterodactyl-sized chicken breasts, and they're like $4, I always avoid that. I only get the organic chicken breast now because when they plump these chickens up, you have a higher percentage of woody chicken. And you can get woody chicken from a restaurant too. A lot of like pizza restaurants, when you get like a chicken parm from like a slice shop or whatever, a lot of times they buy the cheap chicken breast and you get woody chicken. Have you ever had a woody chicken?
I mean, I have to assume I have, right?
It's just chicken when you bite it and like it like crunches. Not literally like a Frosted Flake crunch, but like it has like crunch to it. It's so disturbing. And then once you can't eat it. It's like you want, the texture is so messed up, you can't eat it.
I've had some weird rubbery, chewy.
I think most people associate it with like, oh, this is just rubbery chicken, but it's actually called woody chicken.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I have.
I can't stop thinking about it.
But I see those giant chicken breasts. I'm like, it's impossible. This is impossible to.
It's impossible.
How do you produce this? How does it get through the chain of farmer, shipping, distributor, wholesaler, delivery here for $4? It means that the farmer made a nickel.
The store's making money on it?
It's unbelievable.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. But I will eat a piece of chicken from takeout or even when I cook at home, and the first bite, the only thing I'm thinking about is if this is woody or not. Is this a woody chicken? Is this going to ruin my night?
Do you throw it out if it's Woody?
100%.
Yeah.
I can't eat a Woody chicken.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've had wonderful chicken parm presented beautifully. You cut into the first bite, and I'm like, God, it's a Woody chicken. It ruins the whole night.
You might have just ruined chicken for me. I got chicken defrost. I got Costco chicken defrosted.
You better hope it's not Woody
right now. I think I've had pretty good success with Costco chicken.
I only get the organic chicken breasts, and when you go organic on the chicken breasts, you got to be batting 96% that it's not going to be a Woody chicken. But when you get like those, here we have Morton Williams, the grocery store, and they just throw you huge plumpers for like half the cost. That's twice as much, and you just have to avoid. And when I stocked up on chicken during the pandemic, I was batting 50-50 on Woody chicken. I had full days ruined because of it.
That's wild.
I can't. It's really the worst, man. I don't know how you detect it either, and they know what it is. You can ask like the people at the. You can ask the people. People know what Woody chicken is. Is it Googleable?
I'm looking right now. How do you know if it's Woody chicken?
How do you know? I'm sure that they're saying something along the lines of avoid big breasts.
A Woody chicken breast is meat hard to the touch and often pale in color with poor quality texture. So
Okay.
I guess if you go in and you just push your finger into it, and if it's not mushy, like it should have give to it, you're probably fine. But if you push it and it like gives you too much pushback,
there could be a dresser drawer in there. It's Woody chicken.
yeah, no good. It's coarse, fibrous texture.
Coarse, fibrous texture describes it wonderfully.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the best, man.
You can, if you have Woody chicken and you don't want to throw it away, you can marinate it with yogurt or buttermilk, and that breaks down the enzymes in it, and then it no longer will have the woody texture. It de-woods it.
No, I don't think so. I've tried to de-wood everything.
No.
No.
You get a chainsaw out, all kinds of stuff.
Can't do it. I had really just terrible times with the Woody chicken. But I will say I was home in Boston this weekend, back home to Beantown.
Sure.
And, you know, it's a great food city. Boston is just a great food city. And after coming to New York, sometimes I feel like Boston might be even better on a lot of things. But not on fine dining, but on like local staples. They do some great local staples. They crush local staples.
What's a local Boston staple? I'm going to be honest with you. Can I guess? Crab. Right?
Crab? What are you talking about?
Boston crab?
No, that's Maryland.
Beans?
No, I'm not even talking about like cliche Boston staples. I'm just saying.
I don't
like,
even know if I know what a Boston clam chowder.
I guess what I'm saying by staples are like you go to an Italian deli in Boston. Like I went to, shout out to D'Agostino's, by the way, wonderful deli in Arlington, Massachusetts, and Winchester, Massachusetts. They have a D'Agostino's. It's an Italian deli. But you get an Italian sandwich from there, and it's unbelievable. It's just a neighborhood Italian sandwich spot. And believe it or not, that's hard to find in New York. And it's just like down the street. So they crush like Italian deli sandwiches in Boston. I honestly think are better, and it's easier to find. Even something in Boston, we call them steak and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Not a cheesesteak, a steak and cheese. I went to Market Basket, which is our equivalent to a Morton Williams in New York, or a Stop and Shop, depending on where you are, or a Publix. I went to a Market Basket, and I got a steak and cheese from the deli there that my socks blew right off my body. And guess how much it was?
And you were wearing shoes.
Guess how much?
$7.
$4.99.
Wow.
$4.99. I couldn't stop talking about it. They serve a charbroiled cheeseburger. They make it to order, not a frozen patty. Like making the thing, throwing it on the grill with French fries. Guess how much, Mike?
I'm going to go 7 again.
$2.99.
No.
$2.99.
Wait, a burger with fries.
Burger with fries. $2.99 at Market Basket. High quality. Their steak and cheese at Market Basket. If you're listening to this and you live in New England, go to Market Basket. Get a steak and cheese. I'm telling you, I was shocked. I was like, I couldn't even sit at the table. I was so excited. Delicious. But I feel like everything in New York I just get let down, man. Like there's so many delis here that just underwhelm me. I feel like I was home in Boston and I was hitting home runs everywhere I went on food. I had an Italian sub from D'Agostino's in Arlington.
The sandwiches look great. I'm looking at them right now.
Unbelievable, man. I got a meatball sub and an Italian an Italian sandwich and a meatball sub, and me and my brother-in-law did a split ski on it, and both were like phenomenal. Hot peppers, the whole thing, beautiful bread.
I'm trying to figure out what the difference between, and I can't get any discernible answers. The difference between a steak and cheese and cheesesteak.
Same
thing, right?
Cheesesteak. A cheesesteak is a Philadelphia thing with cheese whiz, onions, and that whole thing. When I say steak and cheese, a steak and cheese in Boston relates to. I grew up with a steak and cheese from D'Angelo's, which was a local steak sub shop in Boston, which I think is defunct. But a steak and cheese is ground steak ribeye with white American cheese, like kind of mixed in, so it kind of like creates this ooey gooey thing.
When you say ground, you're talking about like ground beef,
shredded steak.
Yeah, okay.
And then they put the cheese; it was all kind of like mixed in, but it's not big hunks of steak, or ribbons. It's just like it's
shaved
with.
But that's what
white American cheese. No, they're the cheese. They're cheese whizzing.
Well, but the steak is the same.
Steak
it's
is
shaved
the same,
ribeye, shaved. So,
but the preparation is different, which creates a different taste.
Okay.
So in Philadelphia, they do a lot of cheese on top.
It's a flat top. Onions.
No, they'll put the steak, and they'll put the steak into the sub, cheese on top. And I don't hate that, but in Boston, like a steak and cheese, even at Market Basket, which was one of the best I've ever had, they put the American cheese and then they kind of like chop it. It becomes one thing.
Yeah. Okay.
And dude, it's unbelievable.
So it's essentially the same principle, different execution.
And they also another key factor for a steak and cheese in Boston, for the ones that I like, don't even talk about a toasted bun. Never toasted. Never toasted. It's always just a soft, beautiful roll.
Yeah, Philly
not toasted.
Philly don't toast either.
They don't toast either down there.
So I'll say this just to defend a little bit of Philly, because I'm from Philly originally, got all my family in Philly. A real cheesesteak, whiz is not. You're getting provolone or American.
I don't like provolone.
Or white American. But
white American
whiz is for the tourists.
White American cheese with a steak and cheese, to me, is a culinary. It's in my culinary Mount Rushmore.
All right, there you go.
I literally was raving about this $4.99 Market Basket steak and cheese like I was at Per Se in New York. It was so friggin' good. It was unbelievable. I told my brother, I'm like, how are you not down here every day? $2.99 for a burger, $4.99 for a steak and cheese? It was incredible.
Well, this gives me an idea, so stick around. Make sure you check out Jiggy Comedy on Top 5s. Today, then one of them coming out soon is going to be Top 5 Sandwiches in America.
Top 5 Sandwiches in America.
It's going to be a good one.
Oh, good. I have another idea, too, for Top 5 dog breeds in America.
Ooh.
I don't know how you do that based on sales or ownership. I don't know how you look that up. It was good to be home. It was fun to be home. I also played golf for the first time in a while. And went out with my sister, who now plays golf, which is cool to see. I'm happy that she has...
Older or younger?
She's 2 years younger than me, but she never played. Like, I would always play when I was a kid or whatever, and she would come out and drive the cart. But now she plays, and she's good. It was fun to watch her play. She had sank all these putts. She was having a great time. We had a great time together. It was the first time that we ever played golf together. So it was me, my friend, Mike, my brother-in-law, Mike, and my sister. We played at our local course, like the public course in Lexington, where I grew up. And we had a blast, man. It was so much fun. And it made me want to like play more golf. I don't know. I had such a blast out there.
Are you good at it even a little bit, or is it just fun for you?
I played in high school, so I can swing it, but like it's hit or miss whether I'm going to score. But like I know, like I can get around a course.
I'm helping produce a show for Noah Savage.
Yeah.
Where he bets on golf called Chip King.
Okay.
So you should do one of the episodes.
Absolutely.
I'm
yeah.
editing the first one right now.
Yeah. 100%.
It's fun because he thinks he's good at it, but he's more of a degenerate gambler than anything.
So he likes to watch or play?
No, he plays.
Okay.
And he loves it. But the first episode I'm working on right now, he was like, I'm up $10 and I'm down 6 balls. Like, because he's constantly dropping balls because he loses them. But he's still like, I'll fucking kill you right now. I'm like, oh, it's in the water. All right, now try it again.
If you keep,
I'd love to golf. I went out to shoot it with him, and I was like, oh fuck, I wish I had a club.
It's really fun, but there's a lot of different ways that you can play golf to make it fun in a group. So like we just played regular golf. We just played golf and kept our own score when I played this weekend. But you can do team golf, where you do best ball, or you kind of like play together. Or you do 2 versus 2, and it takes a little bit of the pressure of like, oh, I got to hit this shot perfectly. You're playing basically in a team, so you hit 2 drives and you take the best drive, and then you both hit from there, and then you hit the best shots on the way in. It just makes the whole thing a little less pressure, especially if you like spray it all over the place, which most people do. I actually didn't lose a ball. That was the number one thing I walked away with, is I didn't lose a golf ball. 9 holes though, but most people are losing a million balls.
Yeah, I'm.
It can be expensive just to keep up with the golf balls.
We used to play a lot in college, but I would by 5th or 6th hole, I was too drunk to play, so I'll just drive the cart and then fucking tear up a golf course.
2009.
I was drinking Everclear when I would golf.
Well, that's a little bit crazy.
Well,
I had a couple of rounds of golf. There was a 12-month period where I played golf in Florida in the summertime, or like nice days, whatever. Summertime for us, nice days. You go out and you play golf, drinking Four Locos. When those were like the high test Four Loco ones, like the original ones. Dude, 4th hole came around. I don't even know what the fuck. I was playing tennis at that point. I had no idea what was going on.
I would regularly get as drunk as I got the first night of 2022 fresh tasty weekend. Why am I not saying this right?
Taste funny
weekend. And let me tell you, it tasted funny because I'd be blacked out. I wouldn't even remember getting home. But then I'd go out the next day and golf again. Like, I love golf. Like, no, I think you just have a problem, pal.
Yeah. No, golf is fun, man. It was cool to just be outside, and I guess, I don't know, man. I think people take it for granted to live in a place that you could do that. New York, with all the pros it has, the cons is like getting outside and doing anything active is like a challenge. You got to like really want to do it. You can't just like jump in your car and drive down to the golf course or whatever. You got to like really want it. Like our softball league is like, we make an effort to get out to Central Park to do this. Yeah, it's like a thing. I
see guys every day. I saw yesterday a guy walking down 51st Street when I was coming into the studio, full bag of clubs, going somewhere. I'm like, where are you going?
Yeah, if you want to play golf in the city, I love like the first nice day that's over 60 degrees, you see a guy with his golf clubs in the subway. You're like, this guy's going for hours wherever he's going.
Yeah, he's going to Trump Links.
Yeah, he's not going to 3 stops down to like the East Village to play golf. This guy has to make a connection. He has to go to Penn Station with this thing. He's got to take the Long Island Railroad.
There's a lot of those nice new condos that have simulators. So you can drive simulators.
I don't like that.
If anything, it just at least might make people, I want to go real golfing. So it's like getting people juiced up to go actual.
I never found the enjoyment in a simulator. I even doing Top Golf, which I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a more fun version of just going to the driving range. I think they've really nailed that.
Oh yeah,
activity.
The competition,
but it doesn't replace even a great Top Golf day. Doesn't replace playing golf with your buddies and having a good time.
No.
It doesn't even come close.
You know why?
There's something about
driving
swinging
around too much. You're doing too much swinging.
Too many swinging, yeah. But you also just don't have like the stakes, or there's no stakes. Like you just go up and you're just whacking balls. But there's something about being out there and like having great shots and bad shots, and you're buying beers from the cart person. You're like seeing new holes for the first time. You have good days, bad days.
Talking shit, making fun of each other. Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah, I want to golf again. I got to do it. I'm a lefty and I don't have clubs, so
I got
rid of my clubs when I moved to. I think when the first time I moved to Atlanta, I got rid of my. When I left Florida, I got rid of. I was like, this is it. That's my stay in Florida clubs.
I went. I had to go into my mom's basement to see if I had a golf shirt. I didn't bring a golf shirt, but I used to work at a golf course in college, so I had like a bin full of like old golf clothes. I'm like, these used to fit. I don't know. Are the shirts getting smaller?
You're wearing golf clothes right now.
I didn't have this with me. We're in New York.
But I'm saying though, like
I own
that
like
could be
polo.
golf clothes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just didn't have anything with me, so I had to go to my mom's house, get old golf shirt, washed it, played in that, and then my brother-in-law got his dad's old golf clubs, not even the ones he uses, like from the garage, and that's what I used. like these 1985. I think they were called like Rams. Like like the hosels were all like breaking off. Like I hit a 4-iron.
The hell's a hosel?
Like the part that connects the club to the.
Oh, I thought it was like a Jewish golf club.
They did not feel great to play with, but you know that's how fun it was. It's like it didn't matter. I was wearing this old dusty thing. The clubs were terrible, and it was still a blast. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I got to get back out there.
A morning hot dog on a golf course? Get out of here. I went down for hot dogs at 8:30 in the morning. Huh?
We did have a couple brewskis.
I love the old guy leagues too. The old guy leagues are the best of these courses. Like we had an early morning tee time on Monday morning, and so like 7:15 in the morning, and at 7:30 or 7:45 is the old guy league. So it's like the over 60 league,
right?
And you talk about like we have dysfunction in our softball league. Any one of these old guy leagues at any course in America has so much internal dysfunction. It's hysterical.
Yeah.
I saw people fighting. They didn't even tee off yet. They're like, Gary's always late. You know, they're screaming at each other. It's just the best.
We had a nice drama yesterday. Almost got someone kicked off the team. Or got kicked
on our team?
Kicked out of the game almost.
On our team?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who was it?
Ben.
Really?
Yeah, he got hot because he got called out at second. And it was debatable, you know, one way or the other. But he lost his mind.
Who was the umpire? Keith?
No, his name's yes. Who you're thinking of is, but
Yes.
It's not Keith. I thought it was Keith forever. It's Clint or
It's not Keith.
it's not Keith.
I've
no.
definitely called him Keith for like a year and a half.
He
So he gets called out as second,
and
then
he may be safe. Who knows? But the guy does the best he can.
It's a
He's
one
running the whole
umpire,
field.
yeah.
You know. He's like, oh, it's because I say. He just starts screaming at him. He's like, oh, I'm an umpire too. I know the rules. You're fucking wrong. And then he was loudly talking shit about him and how bad he is at his job at the dugout. And the ump walks up. He goes, just say it to my face. What are you doing? He's like, well, you don't know what you're doing. You're not even paying attention out there. You know the fucking rules. I'm an umpire. I know the rules. And he's like, good for you. I don't care that you're an ump. He goes, keep it up. You'll be done. And he's going back, and he just wouldn't stop. He wouldn't let it up for like 3 innings. And Adam had to be like, all right, let's get the energy back up here, boys. Why don't we get rid of this drama?
I will say that when someone is really upset during softball, it really creates a weird tension.
I hate it, man.
I don't like it either. I think that honestly, you just got to like accept the fact there's going to be bad calls. We're in a mid-afternoon Monday softball league with one umpire who does not care, who's probably getting paid $40. Let the guy live.
Yeah.
He's going to make calls that are not correct.
Yeah.
You know, but when people take it so seriously and they're swearing on the bench, it's like, dude, relax, dude. I can't stand it.
No, I'm not here for
and
that.
I'm competitive. I want to win, but arguing about a call.
I don't want to win more than I want to have fun. And winning
100%.
is fun. But if I'm out there winning and having a bad time, I don't want to be out
Who cares?
There. It's Monday.
It's Monday
The
at
sun's
2.
shining. It's beautiful out. Like, grow up, dude. And also, you play on 17 fucking ball teams. Like this is
Yeah.
your first game of an 8-game week. Like, we're good, man. And I like Ben, but he got a little bit.
Got heated.
I'd say that about anybody. He got heated.
Yeah, it can get tense.
Yeah.
Well, I never have any not even a thought of arguing a ball or strike or if I'm safe or not. It's just like you just kind of like move on.
Yeah.
You got to move on. But even in like high level competitive baseball or softball, it just never pays dividends. Like I used to play with a kid in college who would get unreasonably upset to the point now where it's funny to think back of all the things that he did.
Yeah.
He, like this kid, whenever he would whenever he ground out, which would be frequent, you know, he'd play, he'd ground out, he would run full speed like through the base. This is during practice or like scrimmages. He would run full speed through the base and then just keep going into the outfield. And then there was a fence. He'd jump the fence and run back. And he was so pissed, throwing his helmet.
Oh, if he got out.
Yeah.
You mean, oh, it's so
and he
weird.
just, you know what, like you run, if you ground out, like you hit the base, you come back, curl back, come back to the dugout. he'd be booking it full speed down the right field line, all the way down, jumping the fence, throwing his helmet. Like it would take him 10 minutes to get back. And then one time he got thrown out of a game. He went to go steal second base. He's out. The kid's out. He takes the base. He takes the base and throws it at the umpire. And it's one of those built-in bases that's stuck into the ground.
So he has to like wiggle it out.
Yeah, and then he comes back, and guys like that always do. Like, I always feel like they. It's just like a guy who gets a penalty in the NBA. He'll whack a guy and then put his hands up like, I didn't do anything. He takes the base, throws it at the umpire, comes back to the dugout, gets thrown out of the game, and he's in the dugout. He's talking to our coach. He goes, I was just trying to give him the base back. I was trying to give him the.
I love someone that just
Gary,
can't be like, yeah, I screwed up.
500 people in here at this stadium who just saw you slide in and throw the base at the umpire.
What are
You
we
weren't
talking
trying
about? I thought that was part of the policy. You steal base,
So
you give
funny.
it back.
Yeah, I was trying to give it back to him.
I also had I was coaching first base, and someone on our team hits a nice rope, gets caught out, whatever. As he's running past, I go, hey man, good stick, good stick. He's like, that sucked. What are you talking about? I was like, all right.
Well,
my bad, I guess. Have next time you come up, I'm gonna be like, do better. What do you want me to say?
Yeah.
It was a good hit. You got caught. What are we doing?
gonna do?
Softball, for Christ's
It's
sake.
softball. Relax. It could be worse if you had Woddy chicken.
Woddy Chickens would be a great farm team name.
Woddy Chicken, yeah.
The Woddy Chickens.
The Woddy chicken. The Louisville Woddy chickens.
Oh, that'd be great.
Louisville will definitely have a team called the Woddy
Woddy
Chickens.
Chickens, yeah.
I love Louisville. Great city.
Louisville Woddy Chickens. We're crunchy.
We're crunchy.
They're all like hippies.
Yeah. This weekend, we are off in Canada. So we are playing Halifax, Toronto, Moncton, and London, Ontario. Going to be heading out there this weekend. And then we have Taste Funny Weekend coming up in just over a month. Very excited about that. I think that's all we got time for today. But until next time, mahalo and deuces.